Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, June 26. 5,000 small farmers in Portland, St. Thomas and St. Mary will benefit from a project to increase their technical and technological capacity for implementing climate-smart agricultural practices. This is being facilitated through a 2-year program by the African, Caribbean and Pacific ACP countries. Minister without Portfolio for Economic Growth and Job Creation, Daryl Vaz, says the program will build farmers' resilience against the impacts of climate change. His message was read at the project's recent launch by the Principal Director of the Climate Change Division, Una Mae Gordon.
And you will be training farmers and agro-dealers in ICT and climate-smart agriculture. The initiative will also ensure that the production and markets for agriculture production are addressed to improve farmers' income.
The Ministry's Climate Change Division, RADA, and the Technical Center for Agriculture are partnering to implement the Uptake of Climate-Smart Agriculture in Jamaica project. A government and private sector entity are partnering to execute a ganja research and development project on the island called Identification, Isolation and Conservation of Land Strains of Cannabis for Medicinal Use. The Jamaica Medical Cannabis Corporation, JMCC, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the National Foundation for the Development of Science and Technology. Under the 10-year agreement, the JMCC has committed $2 million, which the Science and Technology Foundation will disburse through a research consortium that will execute the project. Science and Technology Minister Dr. Andrew Wheatley says this project has the potential to catapult Jamaica to becoming the leading expert in medicinal cannabis use.
We possess the ability, the know-how, the technology to go beyond the traditional characterization. Using molecular genetic tools, we can, with more certainty, use molecular markers to identify and characterize different strains. And I must tell you, when we have done these identification and characterization using molecular tools, the information or the data that we will gather at the end of the day will be data that cannot be disputed because of a technique that will be used.
Minister Wheatley says this is part of the country's mission to position itself amongst the first in the Caribbean to create, discover and enter new frontiers within the cannabis industry. 50 young people engaged in the HOPE program are to benefit from a $6 million donation from the Philip and Christine Gore Family Foundation. The money will be used to pay stipends for HOPE interns with Gore Developments Limited, who are working on projects in St. James and St. Catherine. At Monday's handover, HOPE's national coordinator, Colonel Martin Rickman, urged more entities to participate in the program.
I would like to call on any organization out there, all other organizations, to get on board with us, come on board and join us and let us help to show you the way in which you can support youth in the vulnerable communities in Jamaica, thereby getting persons to be on their own path of their own success and contribution again to the economic growth and the reduction in crime.
The program, which is being implemented through the Heart Trust NTA, involves the recruiting, training, monitoring and periodic assessing of participants. Each HOPE intern is paid a weekly stipend of $6,000 over a 40-week period, with $1,000 going towards the compulsory savings component of the program. As plans for the full implementation of the Primary Exit Profile accelerate, the Education Ministry has begun reviewing the administration of the mock performance task tests done by grades 4 and 5 students last week. Sample test items for grade 6 are being sent to primary schools as of today, and practice questions will be available by July 2 for the grade 5 curriculum. It will take the format of the curriculum-based test. The Education Ministry says a full publication will also be sent to schools by September 2018 with sample questions for all 3 years of preparation for PEP. The mock test administered to grades 4 and 5 students was to help administrators identify how students respond to this type of test and to assess the system's readiness for PEP in the upcoming academic year. The ministry says preparation sessions will continue across the island, and short videos on PEP are also being made available on social media. Teachers at grades 4 and 5 are currently being trained in the administration of the performance task. And finally, an advisory council and boards of visitors for residential childcare facilities are to be appointed. State Minister for Education, Youth and Information Floyd Green is to appoint the council and boards of visitors. This follows the completion of a strategic review of state childcare facilities by a private consultancy earlier this year. Based on the recommendations in that report, Minister Green says there was clear need for urgent intervention in the monitoring process and actions taken in relation to critical incidents in state facilities. The Advisory Council will provide a significant layer of oversight to ensure accountability and raise the standard of care given to children who have been made wards of the state. Meanwhile, every children's home will have a board of visitors who will make announced and unannounced visits to the facilities and file reports. Minister Green says this is to reinforce accountability in light of recent critical incidents. Individuals on the Board of Visitors will be appointed for a 2-year term. The ministry is asking persons interested in serving on the Board of Visitors to contact the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, CPFSA. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thank you for watching.